All right, traders, it's BA here with your TTB report for January 7th, 2019. Hope everybody's having a better days in the market last few days than we've had in the last 3 months. Let's go ahead and get started. I don't have I didn't update the paper today, guys. That I normally put up here in the on this site. I just didn't get a chance to. I've been looking through charts, looking at all kinds of stuff. So let me wow, man, let me go ahead and get started here. We're going to start out with the VIX. You guys know that I show you this chart quite a bit, and that is, this is my line at 30. Every time we get above 30, you never know how far it's going to get above 30. I always like between 40 and 50. You get up in there, and it's a good time to take those VXX positions in VIX. I didn't do anything this time. Nothing in a grand scale, cause we didn't get any thrust above that. You guys know that anytime, you can draw this line on your chart yourselves. Anytime we get above it and close back below it, typically the worst is behind us. So this is a weekly chart here. Now we know the worst wasn't behind us. This week right here, it was ugly as all get out. That was Christmas week. So we've started getting a little bit better. You can see here, oh man, I got some Project 5110 signals here. Already snagged one nice trade tonight. Crude's moving quite a bit, so is gold in the after hours. Just started. I don't know what kicked up. Probably Asian markets coming on, starting to trade. But anyway, get back to the VIX. As long as we stay below this 30, we definitely want to start looking at bullish trades. So that's where we're at right now. Let's look at the S&P. S&P held. You guys know this 24.8. We'll call it 24.89. That's a key level. Underneath this right here, the 24.3250 held. The 24.30 held today. That was crucial. Those are the first two levels that had to hold in this market. If we get back underneath this level, guys, then we're playing ping pong. Then it's high probability it goes to the next level below it. That's just how this game works. That's why I like to track levels in the S&P when we're coming off of these lows. Let's go back to the daily time frame so you can kind of get a better grasp of what I'm talking about here. All right, so yeah, we're up in the after hours +5 right now in the S&P, so we're looking pretty good. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ's come off hard from the bottom as well, from about 58 in the teens up to 65. So, man, that's a big rally, guys, off of the bottom right there for this thing. Yeah, move above that 65.24 area would be a good buy in NASDAQ futures if you were playing in the options market. All right, let's take a look at the Russell. Russell's looking really good. It's moving up very, very strong off of the bottom here, so that's what we want to see. We want to see the Russell lift up. It's doing just that. All indications are that we're going higher. Guys, I gotta tell you, you know what my stance is. I have not wavered once in this horrific market we've had this past year, in these last 3 months. I have maintained that as long as this China thing gets resolved, I think we are in for the biggest rally yet. I still hold to that. Everything's still pointing to that. And This market has just demonstrated and done things that coming off of this bottom that we haven't seen ever in market history. And maybe again, we go back and we have to look. Jason at Sentiment Trader, he's looking back and he's only finding one other market that's done what this market's done since 1962. He didn't even have a record prior to that. One other time that this market has registered the record number of new lows at the low, at a 52-week low, and then ratcheted up in the manner that we have right now. It hasn't been seen before. Every time it's even come close to this, all the occurrences he's had, the market has just ripped higher 1 year later. So my theory, as far as I can tell, is still intact. The best is yet to come. I'm not worried about missing a few trades here and there, guys, out of the gates. Not a big deal. I'm going to cycle through some of the trades that are working out for us, but we have plenty of time to absolutely crush it this year. I have been putting on some trades. Let's go ahead and move out of the indexes and let's check. Let's just take a look at crude right now. Took a short trade in crude tonight. Nice winner in Project 5110. Let's see. Took a gold trade and broke even on it. Let's just take a look at gold's just running higher. Let's look at silver. You guys know I got silver positions on. I've been recommending the insurance trade. Right now silver's taking a breather, but had a nice run off of the lows. So these are silver futures right here. And bond trade, need for the bonds to give it up. I've got short positions out to March in this thing, so it would just be nice if this thing just cratered and ran to the downside. All right, let's take a look at some of the things that are working for us right now. Let me see. Let's go to another account. All right, Roku. If anybody's got any plays in Roku, I'm long Roku. This one's just been doing really well lately. So I'm holding on to Roku. Netflix has just been ripping. It's one of my bigger winners right now. I'm holding on Netflix, guys. You'll notice Netflix has earnings here. I'm holding this thing. Win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter to me. I just think Netflix, my theory on Netflix is somebody's going to buy this thing out before it's over with for much higher than what it's trading for right now. So I am going to have a position on Netflix until the cows come home. I've got positions right now out to January 18th, so expiring this week. That position's doing good. I'm long options there. I have positions on out into March that I was able to get on back in here at the low. I think it was either this day or this day. It was one day prior to the big low. Actually, I think it was this day right here is when I got it on. So I got really lucky in the March position. So we'll see how that one plays out. I tried to buy more, couldn't get them off. So, but anyway, Netflix is doing real well. Tandem is held up very well for me as well. So that one through thick and thin is done nicely. Alfria, the cannabis stock. Okay, guys, let's go to two plays right now. I'm going to summarize this at the end. I'm looking at Alfria. I've already got a position on in this one. So I've got a position on here. Out to July. I am looking at another position. Here's I'll just show you this on the screen. I'm looking to buy the a 50 lot of the APHA. That's the symbol. Out July 19. I'm buying the 12.5 calls, selling the 15 calls for a debit of 10 cents. So I'm trying to get a nice position out on that one. This company has earnings coming up here pretty soon, so I don't know why it doesn't show up here on F, but it has earnings coming up pretty soon. It's going to be a crapshoot on that, guys. You can see I don't have a lot of money wagered on this. It's a $2.50 spread, so if I get it for 10 cents, then I've got $2, so I've got 24 times the profit potential in this thing that I do risk. So even at 50, I've only got $500 at risk. I'm willing to risk that out to July, that these cannabis stocks are going to light on fire. It's crapshoot earnings for this thing. This thing could tank. It could go down to $2 a share. It could run up to 15. I mean, who really knows? It's trading for 641 right now. So I've already got a position on. I'm trying to get another one on tomorrow ahead of earnings out to July. That's a play I'm making right there, guys. Total crapshoot. I'm doing nothing but betting on a potential big move. X, I'm trying to get a position on too. I have a trade in Caterpillar. Trying to get a trade on in X. Here's what I'm trying to do in X, and the reason why is I'm trying to buy a 30 lot X. I'm buying the 25 calls, selling the 26s for a trying to get it for 10 cents. It's at the close of the day it was trading for 12. I'm going to watch this. I'd be willing to pay 12 cents for the debit, but I'm going to see if I can get it a little bit cheaper tomorrow. Maybe we get a little bit of pullback in these stocks. The reason I am looking at X, the reason I looked at Caterpillar is I'm really expecting a trade deal in this China debacle to come to an end. It's got to come to an end. Everybody knows it has to come to an end. I am fairly certain the president is getting counsel from his trusted advisors telling him you cannot drag this out anymore. It's as well as the intentions are. We gotta come to a compromise and just move on. Take the small win and move on out. So I think that's the kind of advice he's getting right now. If a deal gets announced, I think X, I think CAT, I think anything tied to some of these other, need to look at like WB. I haven't looked at those. Let's take a look at that right quick. Yeah, it's starting to move. Yeah, I have a position on that one right now. That one is, it expires 18 January. It just depends on how this plays out. It's a crapshoot right now, how well this one does. So another move up and we're profitable on this thing. But WB would be a good one. Huya probably would be a good one. Take a look at that for a potential China play. But again, X, CAT, some of the CAT's still in an area where you could put a nice trade on out. You guys figured out. You know what you're doing right now. I'd go out to March maybe you want to go out to July time or June time frame for this thing. For Caterpillar, I think going above 150 is a shoe-in. So you could buy the 150, sell the 155s. I mean, it's a little pricey. It's certainly more pricey than the other trades we were taking, but it's still you're paying 96 cents and you've got $4 profit. So that's potentially four times your risk if the trade works out. I think it's a shoe-in if they announce that Caterpillar runs to the moon. So kind of look at those things, guys. Look at the China slant and start taking some positions, because they've got to come to an agreement on this before March. They have to, and that's kind of one of the things I'm playing. So you guys do your own research on some of these things and see what you come up with. Come up with something good, hey, just drop me an email so I'll know what you're doing, and maybe I'll tag along with you. All right, so we talked about X. We talked about Aphria. So now let's see. Now I want to bring up a penny stock. Hey guys, this is a potential long-term play right here. It's a play on China. It's a play on the biotech sector. Guys, I'm going to tell you, biotech is on fire right now. I mean, it is absolutely on fire. So I've got to start paying more attention to the biotech plays for us, because these things are just going up like gangbusters. I mean, I'm looking at some of these things. They're getting taken over for, $100 a share premiums over what they traded for a day prior. It's just going berserk right now. You guys know last year I told you that biotechs and penny stocks, those are things that come to life at the tail end of these bull markets, and it's starting to play out. That's why I'm so excited and not worried about missing some trades right now. I think we're going to get a chance for the next 9 to 15 months, maybe some of the best trading to the long side that we've possibly ever had. Anyway, VLRX, I would not go in there and buy it at the market. I would try to buy it below the 40-cent range. So, somewhere between that 36 and 40 cents is probably a good buy point for this one right here. I think I have, let me see. Might as well cancel this. It's not trading. It needs to come way back down. Yeah, so VLRX. So price range to get in on this one, comfortable 36 cents to 38 would be a really good place. You could put a buy order in or an alert right there. If it gets down to that level, then you can take some action. But take a look at VLRX for a penny stock trade. A couple other stocks you can take a look at. Let's look at Mondelez. Mondelez, everything looks really bullish on this one, so you could come up here above 41.47, create an alert. And you get put in up there, monitor it again. Preserve your capital. If this thing runs, follow it. Follow the management techniques that we outlined on the website. If it drops down back below both VWAPs, then just bail out of the trade. Preserve your capital. Constellation Brands. They have earnings coming up. Could be a crapshoot. Take your eye, keep your eye on this one. I don't know how they're going to size this one up right here because of Constellation Brands put all those billions into the cannabis company. They came right out and said we're going to be first to market with cannabis beverages. So we'll see how that plays out. If you wanted to take a flyer on Constellation Brands, hey, just don't play with a lot of money, guys. That's all I can tell you. Everything looks bullish here, but you guys know earnings plays are very, very notorious for going either way. Now, one of the things that you could look at, let's take a look at it. Let's see when their earnings are again. It's this week, so you could take a look at doing this. We're going to look at a couple of things here. Let's buy the 170s. 170 puts, buy the 170 calls. Let's buy 3 times. Let's sell these with all of the premium. So let's sell the puts, sell the calls. Let's see if we do that, what this looks like. Okay, big move either way, guys, and you can see right here that this thing it shows right now that it cannot lose. It's because of the dynamics of the how thick the premiums are. Looks like you'd tie up about $1,437 in this trade. I'm probably going to end up putting this on. I like this. I like this shot. It could go either way, and you could really end up in a pretty nice position in this one. So I'm probably going to put this on in STZ. So that would be I'm buying the 25 Jan 19 at the money call, at the money put, doing it 3 times, so a 3 lot, buying the straddle. And then I'm going to sell the at the money straddle in 11 January 19. So again, looks like it's potentially 1,400 in margin against you, and you just want to try to take a little bit out of this. That way you don't have to worry too much about don't have to worry too much at all about what's going on in the with the earnings call. Need to write that down so I do not forget it. I like putting these trades on. Have to do these during the trading day. You can't really set these trades up to execute after hours. That's just one bad thing about these. All right, so let's take a look at another one. Play. This one can run, guys. Play can move pretty big. So, above that high right there, and this thing can be very, very streaky. Don't be afraid of buying this one at higher prices. So it looks like it's got a flag building up on the hourly chart there. Nice flat on the 15 minutes. So we'll put an alert up there. Why do I have two alerts? All right, so we'll leave that one at 49.26. Okay. All right, let me summarize what we covered tonight. First is with the sentiment studies. That we have gone from 52-week lows, one of the most horrendous corrections in duration, in volatility, in magnitude in the bull market that we've seen in a very long time. We set records to the downside that haven't been matched, but just a handful of times since 1928. You guys know I've had a laundry list of things that worst of this, worst of that. But now, when we bounced out of that low and started moving up, now we've started setting records to the upside, which are unprecedented at the velocity and the way the money is flowing into some of these into these stocks. It just hadn't been seen, but maybe once since sentiment traders had data going back back to the 20s. So our theory, or my theory, is as far as I'm concerned, is still intact, and that is because of the way these models are unfolding and the statistics behind them show that a year from now the market is higher by a significant amount. So that leads me to believe that we are in a potential setup where the biggest rally yet is to come. And that's what I've been waiting for. We've got biotechs that are ripping to the upside. I think we're going to start to see the penny stocks catching on fire. So that's all part of the theory that I've had since 2013, what to watch out for. We talked about putting some China plays in when this thing unfolds. So you guys need to look at some of those and get some of those wickered in. Any pullbacks we have, start playing for those China trades. I think it's just my belief that it's going to get settled before March time frame. We talked about some of the trades that are working out good for us. I've mentioned to you multiple times that I'm going to continue having a trade on in Netflix, simply because I believe it's going to be taken over. May not, but I mean the thing is just always treated me really, really well. We've got earnings coming up on Netflix. It's going to be big either way. Always is. So, but I'm going to hold into that with the position I have and see what happens. Guys, I think that's all she wrote for tonight. So it's good to get back and start back with the videos again. Start to look at some of the charts. It's been a while. This has probably been the longest drought I can remember having in trading and just sitting on my hands. I've never been this inactive before. So, but you have to learn to do it, and because environment is everything whenever you're swing trading or investing. Environment is everything. All right, guys, that is all I have for tonight. I will bid you adieu until tomorrow night. It's BA signing off.